bit of Periphery to kick off the show. Their latest track, Mr. God. It's Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. It's Monday, April 6th, 2026. I hope you are well. I hope your weekend was fantastic. I'll talk about my weekend coming up here in just a few. I did want to talk about a couple of things. Like we discussed during the beginning part of the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, something is getting announced tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And it got narrowed down to the Portneuf Health Trust Amphitheater. There was a few people that texted me, asking me for details. I kept quiet. You know, somebody was asking me, would it be any band that I would, that I would know or like? And I was just dead silent, man. I didn't tell anybody anything. I've kept it quiet. We're going to keep it quiet till tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That's when we'll make the big announcement. Victor will make the big announcement on his morning show tomorrow morning. We already announced the K-Bear 101 Secret Sound has returned, and we crowned our first winner. Shout out to Nick in Idaho Falls, winning $101. Hearing the sound of a toilet flushing. We talked about it last week, how we were going to warm up to a much harder sound kind of thing. Like, we're trying to warm everybody up back into it. You know, it's been a year since we've last done this, the K-Bear 101 Secret Sound, powered by our good friends at the Advocates Injury Attorneys. Listen every weekday, 7:05 for the times we'll play the Secret Sound that day. And then when you hear that cue to call during that said hour, be caller 20 at 208-535-1015. Win those, what am I talking about? Guess the sound correctly. I do too many concert ticket giveaways. I almost said win tickets to that concert. No, be caller 20. Then guess the sound correctly, win all the money in the prize pot. With each incorrect guess, the prize pot gets increased by $25. And so, well, we're starting the second Secret Sound at some point during this afternoon show. If you were awake early enough at 7:05 to hear the second hour of today, you will know what hour I'll give out that cue to call. Luckily, there is a post-it right here on the board, because I've been pulling Victor as of late. I've been pulling a Victor as of late. Multiple Victors. I've been forgetting to do a few things, which is different for me, you know? So I definitely need to have that post-it reminder. I think we just have so much stuff going on that we need to have those little reminders like, oh yeah, we need to do this, we need to do that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll start the second Secret Sound. Who knows? Maybe somebody else will score $101 to kickstart their week. That'd be nice. I wish I could have $101. Anyway, I'll talk about some more funny stuff here in just a few on K-Bear 101. It's Peach's Pit Party. K-Bear 101, over the weekend, we spent a lot of time redecorating. By we, I mean my girlfriend and I, Aubrey and I. We were hanging out at my place, and we were wanting to change some things about my bedroom, and we realized we don't necessarily go out to the living room all that much to watch a movie, TV show, anything really. We hardly ever turn on that TV in the living room. So what we ended up doing was that we moved my TV to the bedroom on top of my dresser. The wooden crate of records, the little like treasure box that I've had since elementary school, and a couple of other things that were on top of my dresser got moved to the living room. And it was supposed to be like a temporary thing that my TV would be in my bedroom only when, you know, we wanted to watch something and we can move it back, really. But I was kind of liking it. I was like, man, this is kind of cool to have just my giant TV right here. I can lay in bed and watch a movie, lay down like a big back and just eat a whole bunch of snacks. Well, we decided yesterday, hey, you know what? Let's make this permanent. Let's just move all the wall decor, shift it to where it fits everywhere, or, you know, around the... Move the stuff from behind the TV, hang up all that stuff in the living room. I filled out this particular thing online. I got a letter in the mail recently that said, hey, if you fill this out, we'll give you a $50 Amazon gift card. I thought it was just, you know, some type of scam, but no, it was real. I got emailed the $50 Amazon code, so then I redeemed that to buy myself a nice record player. So now my living room is going to be more so just like a music lounge with this awesome record player that I just bought. Amazon had it listed at $139, but it was on sale for $89. I don't know how legitimate that sale was, or if it was just, hey, like, we marked it up, you know, like that sort of tactic where like they pretend it's on sale, that kind of thing. But I ended up splurging on it anyway. Got myself a record player because I sold my old one. The sound of it wasn't that great, so yeah, I sold my old one, wanted a new record player. I wanted to be able to play the vinyl records that I have in that little wooden crate. I have Dorothy's record, I have Ghost Impera, I have Lorna Shore's Pain Remains in there. I want to be able to listen to them in all of their glories via my record player. So now my living room is just going to be the music lounge, and then all like the computer stuff, TV stuff is in the back. Man, I'm excited for some reason to have my TV in my bedroom. I feel like, the older we get, the more excited we are about little things. And also, change is good. When you redecorate your place, it feels nice. It feels cleaner. We moved my bed and vacuumed below and all of that, got rid of all the dust mites and all that crap below the bed. It was nice to be able to wake up this morning and realize, oh man, my room's like completely changed. This is nice. I can watch a YouTube video if I want to. I can stream Netflix in bed. How awesome is that? Anyway, here's Poppy. New Way Out on K-Bear 101. In that last break, I talked about how the older you get, the more excited you are for mundane things like, hey, you get a new vacuum. That's exciting. I would be excited for a new vacuum. I'd be excited for a new anything around my place. But also, the older you get, the more pills it seems that you have to take, the more prescription medications that you have to take. Obviously, I've talked about my AFib diagnosis in the past. I got diagnosed with that back in 2023. Every single day, I take 2 different heart medications. And I take one in the morning and the same one at night right before bed. And then I take this different one during the middle of the day, right? So I get back from my lunch, like usual. I come back inside. I open up my fanny pack full of prescription drugs that's laying there on the counter. There's no way I'm actually wearing the fanny pack. No, I carry it around. You know how wrestlers, when they win a championship title, they don't necessarily wear it? Some of them, they just put it like around their shoulder. That's what I do with this fanny pack. So I go in there and I just habitually grab one of the vials thinking it was the right one. My brain's like, yeah, sure, that's the right one. And then I took the pill realizing it was the wrong one. And so then I internally panicked, which is not good for my heart overall. And I was like, do I make myself throw up? Do I run to the bathroom and stick fingers in my mouth and go, bleh, all in the toilet? No, I don't think I do that. But then I've realized, everything will be just fine. Kind of. My dosage is like 50 milligrams. I checked and see what's the maximum dosage in a day, and it's like 300 milligrams. Like, there's way worse than what I'm taking. There's way more of a dosage than what I'm taking. So if I were to accidentally pop an extra pill, I feel like I'll be just fine. Maybe even more so protected from that dreadful AFib. Dealing with AFib sucks. I see Maddie from down the hall all the time, and she has like multiple Red Bulls a day, and I'm like, man, that's how I used to be. I used to be that guy that would drink a Bane energy drink in the morning. I would drink like a Rain energy drink, Celsius, Alani, all of those. And then the AFib thing happened, and I see a 19-year-old with multiple Red Bulls, and I go, hey, cut those out. Just stick to water. Don't end up like me. Peach's Pip Party on K-Bear 101. I was just talking to Jeff, a.k.a. FJ. You can hear him Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on our HD2 music channel, Alt 101, Idaho's Alternative. You can download the app for it through any app store. I was talking to him about Bilmuri, the band Bilmuri, not the old actor, comedian. No, Bilmuri, Bilmuri, with Johnny Frank, the lead singer. Gabby Rose, one of the best saxophonists out there. I'm sure she actually might be the best modern saxophonist. I'll be interviewing Johnny Frank, as a matter of fact, on Wednesday. I'll be having him on for a quick Zoom call. They were the record label was very strict about how to approach this interview. I only have 10 minutes with him. There will be someone monitoring the entire thing, telling me 5 minutes remaining, then 2 minutes remaining, and then it's done after 10 minutes, like done. He needs to move on to the next radio station. I can only imagine being an artist and having to deal with radio DJ after radio DJ after radio DJ. And I'm sure some radio DJ out there had him on for far too long, and then the record label had to step in and be like, hey, we're going to need to enforce some guidelines on these interviews to protect Johnny from being stuck in a Zoom call with some guy asking, so how'd you get your band name? and that horrible voice kind of thing. Oh. But Bilmuri is going to be at the Union in Salt Lake City next weekend. Not this weekend, the weekend after, April 18th, Saturday, April 18th. And I bought my tickets. Luckily, I did. I did like a week or so ago. and it was $64 for the general admission tickets, which wasn't too bad. They've gotten raised since then. I think all the standard general admission prices, all those tickets have been sold, because I am seeing here the only thing available is verified resale, even though the show is not technically sold out because VIP is not sold out, but the general admission tickets are now at like $101. The VIP is $128. I'm like, hey, you might as well just spend the extra money and get VIP tickets. Maybe you'll get more time to talk to Johnny Frank, more so than me, where I just get 10 minutes and I have to ask all these questions to him, and they have to approve my interview afterwards. It feels like I'm interviewing like the Queen of England, or maybe even like President Trump or something like that, really. I'm like, it's just the lead singer of a band that's supposed to be taken not so seriously, but I'll follow the rules, okay? I'm not going to break anything. I'll make sure to stick to my questions, make it last 10 minutes, keep my eye on the clock. So be on the lookout for that on our YouTube channel. Again, Wednesday in the morning, I'll be recording it with him, and then once it gets approved, I'll upload it on our YouTube channel at KBear101RMG. The New York Mets, they have started the season in an offensive slump, which has kept a fan from Manchester, England, from doing a bunch of running. Adam Bayati launched a challenge to himself where he would run 1 mile for every home run the Mets hit this year. Bayati has been a Mets fan his whole life, thanks to his father, Ali, who caught a Mets-Astros game on TV during the 1986 season and chose to root for that season's World Series winner. Bayati attends St. John Rigby College and is trying to win the Duke of Edinburgh Award, which combines volunteering, physical activity, and skills, and running when the Mets hit a homer seemed like the ideal way to combine his fandom and working out. Over the weekend, the Buffalo Sabres clinched an NHL playoff berth for the first time in 14 years. This was great news for the fans of the Sabres, but not so great news for fans of the New York Jets football team, as the Jets they now own the longest active playoff drought in North American sports. The Jets last made the postseason in 2010 when Rex Ryan was the coach and Mark Sanchez was the quarterback, and it doesn't look like the Jets will be making a playoff run this year, as the team's odds to make the playoffs are plus 800 and their odds of missing the playoffs are minus 1400. Quarterback Kirk Cousins and his agent Mike McCartney are geniuses. Last Thursday, Cousins signed a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders that pays him $20 million in guaranteed money in 2026. Here are some fun facts about the ability of Kirk Cousins to earn gobs of money playing football. This is the 11th consecutive season that his contract will be fully guaranteed. Cousins came into the league as a fourth-round pick, has only one playoff victory in his career, and has earned a staggering $341 million in salary. Only two players have ever earned more in NFL history: Matthew Stafford, who's sitting at $408 million, and Aaron Rodgers at $396 million. Next two on that list, Tom Brady and Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champions, you know. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. All right, let's talk about this real quick. New job numbers just dropped, and they're kind of all over the place. According to the latest report, the U.S. is still adding jobs, which sounds great, but not as many as expected. So it's one of those good news, but not great news situations. Unemployment is still pretty low, but hiring is slowing down a bit, and a lot of experts are basically saying the same thing. They're watching closely to see if the economy is starting to cool off. So yeah, people are working, but companies might be getting a little more cautious about adding new jobs right now, which makes this a perfect time to jump on opportunities that are already out there locally. You know, you got to visit the newly redesigned HireEastIdaho.com to find local jobs from local companies. This week's Hire East Idaho Job of the Week is a production line machine operator position with Melaleuca. If you're looking for steady work in a clean, fast-paced environment, this could be a great fit. It's a full-time morning shift from 6:30 to 3 p.m., starting at $18 an hour or more, depending on experience. Obviously, that shift time is great. You get it done early. You have the whole rest of the afternoon to enjoy. You'll be operating machines, preparing production lines, packaging products, and helping maintain quality standards. Melaleuca, they offer some solid perks too, including profit sharing after 6 months, monthly free product vouchers, longevity bonuses, opportunities to move up within the company. You'll need to be able to work independently, handle physical tasks like lifting up to 65 pounds and stay on your feet throughout the shift. To apply, head to HigherEastIdaho.com, and to explore even more local opportunities, check out HigherEastIdaho.com. Higher East Idaho, connecting people with opportunity, always free for job seekers with new jobs added all the time. I guess teachers are so tired of AI being used in students' essays that this particular instructor at Cornell University is fighting the rise of AI written assignments by dragging her students back to the 20th century and having them use manual typewriters to complete their assignments. What's her name? How do you say it? Because I know, like, when it comes to Spanish teachers, you're supposed to call them like Senor Chavez, Senora Lyons, things like that. What's grit? Or is that Grut? I don't know how you say it. Matthias Phelps. Grit Matthias Phelps? Is that her first? Is her first name Matthias or is it Grit? I don't know. Grit Matthias Phelps. I'll call her that. She had to teach her students how to use the typewriters, but now those students have to actually write and edit their own sentences without taking cut and paste shortcuts and using AI. What would that room sound like? Wouldn't that drive students nuts? Because typewriters I feel like, are incredibly loud, right? They have that signature clicking sound. I mean, it's worse than the clicking of a keyboard. A typewriter. I would find that kind of fun, low key, to be quite honest with you. Just to be like, in this essay, I will be writing about how, whatever, you know. Anyway, here's Lamb of God Into Oblivion on K-Bear 101. K-Bear 101, it's Peach's Pip Party. According to a new study, working on Friday is pretty much a waste of time. No kidding. Oh, really? Researchers found that employees are able to get all of their work done in 33 hours and just goof off for the rest of the time they're on the clock. The study also showed that companies who offered their employees 4-day work weeks were actually more efficient, earned 15% more in average revenue. That's more money for the company and less burnout for the employees. You know, it's a win-win. You hear that? Management? Why not switch over to a 4-day work week? It really does suck whenever there's a concert like the one coming up on the 18th, where it's like I have to travel down to Salt Lake City. That's a 3-hour drive. And then I have to spend the night in Salt Lake City. Then I have to wait a little bit on Sunday after running a few errands in Salt Lake to make the drive all the way back to Idaho Falls. And it's like, well, I barely got a weekend because it was mostly just traveling, and it was mostly just rushing to a concert to make it on time to watch these different bands, especially when there's like a concert on a Saturday and I want to interview the artist on site. And it's like it's work on the weekends, and I want to have that Monday off. I want to have that Friday off so I can have that extra day just to kind of chill, you know? Not have that burnout of just coming right back here and doing another 5-day work week, 8 to 5 of melting my brain, doing much, much more than just talking right into this microphone. This would be a perfect question for r/no stupid questions on Reddit. How do you fall off a cruise ship? That's what I want to know. I was just reading here about this woman. She's 77 years old. Fell off a cruise ship near Cuba. She was on her way to the Bahamas. I could see maybe age, probably. She was just an elderly passenger that had some wrong footing and then just fell over the railing. But is anybody watching this nearly 80-year-old woman, or did they just watch her go bye-bye, you know, and just go right over the top railing? Right over like the Royal Rumble. I'm sure she's unfortunately no longer with us, because once you fall into the ocean, the dark depths of the ocean, and you're 77 years old, I have a bad feeling you're not going to make it. I think they sent out the Coast Guard to try to find her. I'm hoping they can. Did this happen actually today? Because I saw some headline about how this lady fell off a cruise ship, and I've talked about things like that in the past, where it's like, how do you do so? Because, I mean, there are some rocky parts of the ocean as well, right? Like there's the Drake Passage, is that what it's called? Where it's very scary. A cruise has never been appealing to me. I'm sorry. Oh, it says the U.S. Coast Guard suspended the search after 8 hours and close to 700 square miles of searching. Yeah, she's unfortunately, I'm sure she's gone. The incident occurred around 3 a.m., prompting the ship to cancel a scheduled stop in Key West. What is that lady doing outside on the deck at 3 a.m.? Maybe she couldn't sleep and she just decided to sit there and watch the view, take a look at the view, and maybe the ship was rocky. I mean, I don't know, but maybe I should ask this in r/no stupid questions. How exactly do you just fall off a cruise ship? Watch me say this. Watch me ask this. And then somehow it happens to me knocking on wood. I have no I have no want to go on a cruise ship. I really do not want to go on a cruise. I feel like everybody just ends up sick afterwards. Doesn't seem like an ideal vacation. I'd much rather just spend that money and go travel via an airplane somewhere and explore and be on land. All right, let's do Rob Zombie right now. I'm a rock and roller on K-Bear 101. Here we go with today's What the Headline. This park in Lexington, Kentucky briefly turned into a racetrack thanks to this 40-year-old woman. She was out there just doing donuts in a park. Full-on Fast and Furious playground drift. Things got way worse. She allegedly tried to hit 3 people, including an 8-year-old kid. People literally had to run out of the park and jump into nearby yards just to not get hit. And it didn't stop there. She takes off, speeding through the neighborhood, almost hitting more cars and kids before finally ending up in a house where police arrested her. At a house, not in a house, my bad. She ended up outside of a house. Police arrested her. Thankfully, somehow, by pure luck, nobody was hurt. But if you woke up today thinking, maybe I'll turn a public park into a demolition derby, let this be your sign. Okay, don't. If you're ever injured in an accident, don't be afraid to call the Advocates Injury Attorneys. That does it for today's What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. Victor made this post on, it was in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group, and it was talking about how picky are you, and it was all these different foods that are controversial to people, like black licorice. Obviously, I'm not a fan of black licorice like most people, but do I care to eat it? I mean, I'll eat it if it's like the only option, right? It's kind of like that variety pack of chips. Like, sure, I'll eat a bag of just original Lay's if it's the only thing left. Will I enjoy it? Not really. But there's this question popping up in the radio prep again, very similar to that thing that Victor posted. What's your hard no food that you refuse to eat? Like oysters, somebody put. Seriously, snot? Have I had oysters in the past, or did I have like clams? I think I've had oysters. Yeah, I think I have, but I was a kid. It's been a very long time since I've had them. Pork rinds, pickled pig feet, pig ears, chitlins. That sounds disgusting. Cottage cheese. I've tried a few times, and I just can't get past the texture. It feels raw every time. For me, I don't necessarily care about texture. You know, cottage cheese, I eat quite a lot of it because it's so good for you. It's good high protein, good fat-free cottage cheese. It's good for you. Liver is one of those where I have never met somebody who's ever passionate about liver. You know, I can only imagine having some weird friend in the group going, man, let's go to this place because they have the best liver I've ever tasted. The one time I saw somebody order liver was my Uncle Denny. He got liver and onions at this one restaurant. All of us felt grossed out. We watched him eat it. He enjoyed it. It was kind of weird. What's your hard no food that you refuse to eat? Beets? They're good. They're good for blood flow. Obviously, beets are good for you. You should eat them. Olives, blue cheese, okra, mushrooms, octopus, snails. Oh, that reminds me of the one time that we went to a Korean barbecue, and on the menu it said baby octopus, and I thought it would be more so calamari. No, it was legitimately baby octopus, like the entire body, everything. And I felt so bad. And at that one particular place, if you didn't eat what was on the plate, like if you didn't eat all of it, they would charge you an extra amount of money. So me, my friend Chaz, and my other friend Joel, we were like, we got to get rid of these. And I came up with the not so genius idea of putting those baby octopus. I told Chaz, I'm like, hey, put those in the hoodie, like the hood of your hoodie, and take them to the bathroom and dump them in the toilet and flush it down. And sure enough, he did. We didn't get charged. We didn't eat any baby octopus. Sure, they were killed already, but they got to go back in the water, even though they were dead. Oh, man, let's do some I Prevail. Violent nature. Of course, this would happen in my old neck of the woods, Long Beach, California. So families are out there doing a normal Easter egg hunt in a park, kids running around looking for candy, and instead, someone finds what looks like human remains just sticking out of the ground. I mean, obviously, the person who got rid of that person didn't do a good job of burying that person. Yeah, not exactly the prize also this kid is hoping for. Police had to come out, shut the whole thing down. Now the medical examiner is trying to figure out if it's actually human and how long it's been there. And it's just wild to think that this is happening in a regular park, not some sketchy abandoned area, just a place where families hang out at a park. Again, Long Beach, California. Easter egg hunts are supposed to be a little surprising, but not that surprising. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, aka Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.